I'm hitting the go live button.
Yeah, go for it.
Cool.
Oh,
Okay. What's that?
I see that we're going live.
Yeah, we are live. I kind of wanted, I want to hit the live button really quick, like sometimes so no one notices it, so we could get these early chats in. The 5 minutes before is always really, really interesting. So
That doesn't
talking
feel
about
very
tattoos and
sensual,
stuff.
Nick. I don't
No, it
support
doesn't, does
that.
it?
No, I don't agree with that.
Hi, everybody at the What's On at Elephant and Castle Facebook page. Please welcome Melissa and Brian Beaton from the House of St. Barnabas. So I'm really super excited about this chat that we have today. Brian, how are you doing, buddy?
Good, not bad. As you can see, quite busy this morning, but it's all good.
Welcome.
What's like you've got an awful lot going on right now at the House of St. Barnabas with the Employee Academy, and we want to kind of get into all of that. But Brian, can you first of all kind of tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got to where you are?
Yeah, well, I've had many different jobs, Nick and Melissa. I suppose if we cut it short a little bit, I was working in a museum for a long time. Which was probably my longest work I've ever done. It was very interesting. It was actually in the British Museum. I was working there in education. And as I was coming to the end of working there, I started to do some volunteer work, working with young people, 16 to 24, who were homeless in a hostel in Berwick Street. And I was doing that at least twice a week. And it was really, really interesting. And from then I started doing some volunteer work elsewhere. And then I started to do some study around supporting people. And I basically done support work around like 360 degrees support work with all different kinds of issues, ranging from, as I said, young people to people who unfortunately were about to die, to young kids. So everything basically, and I kind of settled in working with young people for a while because I really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed their energy, and yeah, so working with people from 16 to 25 years, I was doing that for quite a while and enjoyed it so much. But also working with adults as well, and during that time, I was doing lots of study and I was getting coached, and actually realizing myself to be a coach as well. And I kind of infamously brought a young man to the House of St. Barnabas before it was actually how it is now. They used to hold workshops, yeah, and they were holding a cocktail masterclass. And I was working with a young man who was recovering from alcohol use, and we was doing a lot of work around positive risk. Okay, so we were already 3 months into this work, and he was telling me that he felt that he could work behind the bar. He was an actor, this guy, and he needed to do some other work while he was pursuing his career in acting. So I kind of infamously brought him to a cocktail masterclass here. So, and everyone was a bit like, "Oh, what are you doing?" It's a cocktail masterclass. He's recovering, but it's positive risk. And what happened on the day is that it was actually 2 days. At the end of the course, the facilitator said that his cocktails were the best. He couldn't taste any of the cocktails. We had to taste it for him, but he actually made the best cocktails, and he did go on to work in a bar for a while. And as far as I know, he has done some acting jobs as well. So yeah, so that's how I kind of got to know about the House of St. Barnabas. Mm-hmm. And then later on, I went for a job here, and I got the job. Yeah.
Very nice.
I think it's amazing, and I've got to know you now for the last almost month now, since the House of St. Barnabas kind of came up on a BBC News London news feature where I was just kind of, whoa, this is a really cool place, and I went down and I met the membership people and I became a member, and Melissa and I became members so that we could use it as a workspace.
Yeah.
Because the building itself, the energy in the building is such an amazing place and a feeling. But so for people who don't know what the House of St. Barnabas is, could you give us your kind of like historical recap of how it started as a house of charity, to becoming a charity as a members club today, and also helping with an employee academy?
Well, I'm scared you're going to ask me that question.
Go to the website.
If you want a historical, then you need to go to our website or come to one of our talks. But we started in 1846. Obviously, I wasn't there then. Maybe. 1846, and early on in those years, the house was used to support people, especially women. They used to call them fallen women in those days, and they used to give them refuge. As the years went on, it was used for different things, but always came back to being used to support people. In the 90s, it was also used to support women, and there was a hostel here for quite a while. And through, I don't know, possibly through conversations and just with the want and the need to try and keep on supporting people, they came up with the idea of running a club and a charity. Okay, which is it was unknown before, and especially when I first started working here, and when I first started going out recruiting for the program, as in participants. When I went to support agencies, that they were all a bit skeptical of what we were doing here. They kind of felt that we were mixing rich people with poor people, which wasn't the case at all. And as you say for yourself, Nick, the club is a very laid-back club. It's a very cool club, and I think because it's been supporting people for many, many, many years, that you're right. There is a certain energy in the club. And I've heard so many people remark on it that, people that have come in for the first time, is that one of the first things they say is, wow, there's a great energy in here, and I think because there's been so much support happening within these walls, that the energy is bouncing off the walls, to tell the truth. It's a stunning building, stunning Georgian building, number 1 Greek Street. We're very lucky to be working in such a beautiful space. We've got I could just show you there. We've got Soho Square just out there. Okay, so this is one of our training rooms, and what a great training room to have, that you can look out the window and have Soho Square just there. So when we're training people, it does help them to reflect, look out the window, see some greenery, reflect. So it's a great space. We're very lucky to be here.
Yeah.
Mel, do you want to go?
Yeah, I was going to say, if it's silent from Nick, it means it's my turn to ask a question. I just wanted to go back for a second around your introduction when you talked about positive risk. That kind of struck me in my own work, in my own personal experience. But can you talk a bit more about positive risk and how you've seen it play out and what it means and kind of stuff around that?
Yeah, I think we've all got our own personal risks. Yeah, we've all got our own personal negativities that we have. And I suppose, if we're fearful of them, if we're always continually running away from them, then they're always going to be this scary thing. When I've worked with people regarding positive risk, we've always put that risk, that scary thing on the table. And we've looked at it, we've sat around it, we've made fun of it. We've softened it. We've softened the issue. Okay, so we made the issue more realistic and real, and that helped the person and myself to understand the problem more fully. Okay, and obviously when you do understand the problem more fully, then you've got more of a chance of managing it. Okay, and I think a lot of the times we do kind of run away from our issues rather than facing them. And basically that's what positive risk, working with positive risk is about. It's about facing your issue, understanding what it is, understand what it means to you, understand why it's particularly happening to you, okay? And then creating the steps in order to deal with it and move forward positively.
Yeah, I mean, it makes a lot of sense to me and in terms of the work I do, but also with my own personal journey. So when you were talking, I was thinking of like my little own reminder of myself is to sit down and have tea with my demons, for lack of a better word, right? So instead of running away and being scared, I like offer them tea, scary monsters in my head or in my thoughts, and let's really kind of look at them and be curious around them rather than like running and thinking of them as this other force that can cause harm.
How do your demons take their tea?
Oh, they change it up. Today we're doing a caffeine-free tea. Usually it's a chai, but right now we're doing some caffeine.
I think they usually have a bit of milk, a little bit of blood on top.
Yeah, like some coconut, a little bit of blood, a little bit, yeah, for sure. I mean, you know, the regular.
That's funny. I'm really intrigued by it too, because for me, you know, I had my own journey with alcohol use, and to me today, you know, alcohol is not the problem. You know, I can be in a room full of alcohol. I can see people drinking alcohol. I just have no feeling towards it anymore. And it was a journey for me to know that really alcohol wasn't the problem. It was something else inside of me that I got to spend a few months working on. And then all of a sudden you could put me anywhere. You could put me in a prison talking to men. You could put me in a detox talking to men. You could put me in a bar talking to men about substance use. And it was none of where I was mattered. It was just who I was, but it took some work getting there. But I really do like the fact that you can gently bring people to a place where, yes, though, you know, they can be around the things that they thought were their problem or their demon or whatever, and recognizing that it no longer has that hold on them, that connection to them. And I'm really proud that you do that work with people, because again, the alcohol for me was just a symptom to the problem, and I got to work on that.
We first met in the bar, didn't we, Nick, at the house? And you know, when you started telling me your backstory, and I was kind of like, oh, are you okay with meeting here? And he was like, yeah, it's fine. You know, I mean, it's not something that we take lightly. So there has to be a lot of work done. You know, it's not something that it's not just like that. You know, there's a lot of work that has to be done beforehand and during and after as well. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How's that with your experience with that, Melissa?
With like what exactly? What do
like
you mean?
the work that goes on before, you know, like the you know, before you can actually do the positive risk?
Well, I think what you said is true for all of us, that the whatever we are in relationship with, whether it's substances, people, commodities, material things, it's not so much why and what relationship, like what, so why we're using, but why, and so much who we're interacting with, but what we're getting from that interaction, of it being maybe healthy or not so healthy. And I think at the root of it is like we're either in relationship with things to feel something or to not feel something based on this maybe void or pain. It's usually pain, right? That's getting expressed in a lot of different ways. So
Melissa has left. so I think Brian, yeah, she's right now on using another Wi-Fi router, and it's not working very well. So she'll be logging back in. But in her absence, I know, like, this is the great thing about live stuff, is like so many different things happen. And I know you're sitting in the house right now, and basically are in the office, so anything could happen for you too. But this is the exciting thing about live TV. But we'll go back to now, you know, with the how the Employee Academy has evolved to where it is now, and you're actually in the middle, I think, week 4 of a session that's going on right now. Can you explain to people how it's a 12-week course, or no?
When I first started, Nick, we did run 12-week courses,
Right?
And it was funny because when I first went out recruiting, like going to different hostels, job centers, different places, And, you know, most of the time when I used to tell people it's a 12-week course, you could see a lot of people's eyes glazing over, you know, because 12 weeks sounds like a long time, yeah. But interestingly, you know, doing the program, every single program, especially when it's been 12, 11 or 10 weeks, people have said at the end of it, you know, I can't believe it's gone so fast. You know, we've had people who have never completed anything before, you know, not even a 2-day program. And they've joined our program and completed 10 or 11 weeks without any bother, to tell the truth. So, you know, it is, you know, we're running this program currently is a 6-week program. And the reason we've made those differences is because of what's going on in the year, this year. We've made a lot of differences to the program. You know, the first thing about this current program, which is Employment Preparation Program number 17, is that, you know, we're doing it during this COVID time, okay? So we are concentrated firstly on the health of everyone involved, and also, you know, being able to work within the appropriate guidelines, the health guidelines currently, and secondly, to work in this time, but also create the same feeling and outcomes that we usually do. Okay. Yeah, go ahead, Nick.
I was going to say, like, could you kind of break down the process from actually finding the candidates, where they come from, and then kind of what would happen from week 1 to week 6? What would the journey be? I know today they're out at Suited and Booted, which is really cool. You can explain about that. So what would the journey be from you, actually, from people applying, from becoming a candidate to kind of graduation?
Yeah, so we go out and recruit, okay? We do, you know, we've worked with hundreds of different support agencies through the years. So they, you know, we'll send information out to them when we're actually going to run a program and when recruitment is. We also have information on our website as well. We do ask that people come to one of our recruitment days, and, you know, we will send out referrals to the referral agencies, referral applications, which we help them, we ask them to fill out and send back to us. People can also self-refer as well, okay? So we invite people to our recruitment days, and on a recruitment day, you know, they can have breakfast with us. There's a talk from some of our graduates that have been on it before. There's a tour of this beautiful building that we work from. Obviously, there's a presentation as well. And we also hold a fun educational workshop, which is a group workshop, because a lot of the work, what we do is in groups. Okay, even though we are very concentrated on the individual, a lot of the work is in groups. Okay, and it's a chance for us to observe how the people coming to us, how they behave in groups. Okay, because it's very important for us. And then if people want, they can have an interview with us, and a very informal interview. And then, you know, within a week, we'll let them know if we're going to offer them a place. Yeah, I would say that one of the hardest things about the job is possibly saying to people that we're not offering them a place. That is one of the most difficult things about what we do. Okay, so we have these recruitment days. We offer people places. Most people accept, and then usually about 2 weeks later, we start the program. From the first day, for the first 2 weeks of the program, we do training, a lot of teamwork, a lot of bonding, because it's very important that everyone in the group feels that they have a voice for themselves, and, you know, that they feel safe and that they feel happy. We're very successful in creating a safe place for the participants. Okay. After the first 2 weeks, we have a dinner in the house, which is served to us. So it's a bit like a customer experience, which is beautiful. And from that week, we do 2 days work experience and 2 days, 2 days work experience and 3 days training. So you do 2 days work experience and 2 out of 3 days, sorry, I got it wrong. 2 days training and 2 out of 3 days work experience, yeah? And the work experience is carried out throughout the house, whether it be in our kitchen, in our club, which could be reception or waiter or bar, or in our business admin offices, okay? So people can choose what they want to do, and as much as we can, we try to fit them into the work experience roles that they've chosen. I would say that our program is split into 3 things. The first thing is the obvious one. We're called an employment program. So we do a lot of stuff around employment. So, you know, work around interviews, updating CVs, things like that. I would say the second part is around the mind. It's the way we think, the way we think about ourselves, the kind of things we tell ourselves, you know, I'm not good at this, I can't do that. You know, we try to turn that I can't to I can, or maybe I can, or at least I can in the future. Yeah. And then the last thing we do is around well-being. So on the program, we always have workshops around either yoga, Tai Chi, stress management, creative writing. So we're looking at the whole person. You know, it is a very holistic program. We're called an employment program, but you know, we understand that, you know, if life was just about work, then, you know, it wouldn't be that great. Yeah. And to tell the truth, if you are feeling more positive in your day-to-day life, then there's more of a chance of you, you know, more of a chance of you engaging and possibly getting a job which is reflecting your own personality. Yeah. And if you are in a job that you enjoy and that reflects your personality, then there's more of a chance you're doing well in that. Okay. Which is giving you more of a chance of having a happier day-to-day life.
Mm.
So yeah, so no, that's a lot of what we do. I could talk, there's a lot of other things that we do as well. We're very flexible on the program. We're very lucky to work in a members club. Okay, and a lot of times our members, you know, give us opportunities as well. And, you know, we've got fantastic members and they give opportunities to the program and to our participants. So yeah, so we're always open, we're always light on our feet, and we're looking to just have the best possible experience for ourselves and our participants.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Mel, did you want to say something? I can't see you, so.
I can't turn, I don't know if I'm going to actually be able to stay on because this internet is not supporting me today. So I can't turn on my video. But I guess what I jumped in a little bit late, but this essence of community is really what's happening, and kind of, you know, not the reminder is kind of like, we don't have to do these hard things alone. We can actually, you know, show up for other people when it's so hard to be able to show up for ourselves. And I know Nick and I, and Retribe is really based on that idea too. Is like, sometimes it's hard for us to love ourselves. So maybe we start by showing love for somebody else, and we learn in the process what it can be like to be our own friend and like have that love turn inward. So it feels like when you were talking, I was getting, and I've been to the house, so I could feel it too. It's like this essence of like, we're all in the same place together, like, and the same struggles and the same hopes. And there doesn't have to be this kind of right or wrong, rich or poor, or living on the streets or not living. It can be like, we're human, and sometimes it's harder than others, but we don't have to do it alone. So I appreciate that, and I get that vibe a lot. But I guess I don't have a question, just more of the sense of like, when you were talking in terms of the programs and the workshops and the offerings, it's almost like what's happening is we're reminding people, or you're reminding people through the programming, of their own worth, their own inherent worth. Does that feel like, is that a right statement from me?
Yeah, Melissa, I totally agree. Everything that you said is spot on. The community is something that we concentrate on a lot. We have a community in the house, which is the staff, the members, the mentors, the people that come through our doors. But we also have a community outside the house, which is Soho, and throughout London and beyond. Yeah, for our social media as well. And one of the most important things for us is that, you know, the bonding of the group. Okay, and one of the things I always say is that we don't really talk about a lot, but what does happen on the program is that people create new friends. Yeah, and I think for most of us, you know, as you get older, it is harder to find really good friends. Yeah, because I think as you get older, people become more insular in a way. Okay, so you know, one of the things that makes me happy on the program is seeing the groups, you know, create WhatsApp groups, you know, become really good friends. I mean, we've had relationships start on the program as well. I don't think we've had any marriages yet, but we definitely have had lots of deep relationships, and people who are created a new support network, which as you said, Melissa, is very, very important. And in my experience of supporting people over many, many years, two things. One of the things I think that comes up a lot is issues in childhood.
Yeah.
So a lack of support generally. Yeah. And that's something that can lead people into situations, that they haven't got the people around them in order to bring them back up again. Yeah. Or sometimes, in some cases, they just have the wrong people around them. And what we've realized as well on the program is that a lot of people have said to me that, that they've actually kind of distanced themselves from certain people while they've been on the program, because they realized that those people were negative for them. Yeah. And they've created different friendships with people who approach them in a different way. So yeah, the community is massive, Melissa. And, we respect every single person on the program. And I personally always use the word we, because there is no them and us. There is no, I'm not homeless, you're homeless, because in my experience, anyone can be homeless. And not just working here, but working other places as well. I've heard the backstories of people, and some of the people have been in high-paid jobs before, not that long before they were homeless. Yeah. So yeah, it's something that we all need to be aware of and understand that the more that we support each other, the less chance of people falling down.
Yeah. Oh, look, I'm back on. Yeah, absolutely. Sorry, Nick, go on.
No, I just love it. I just like charting, like in my mind as you guys are talking, just kind of charting out the journey that we all kind of go through, whether you're, you are in the employee academy and maybe you've been struggling and been without a home, to even the members in the club. We've all had this journey of being kind of disconnected along the line somewhere. And then being able to, and it's always kind of what comes first, the chicken or the egg kind of thing. Is it community and connection, or connection and community? And then where does it bring us to this point of actually it was, and I think it's in the room. Is that the room that I was in the other day where
yes. Yeah.
So I think on the wall right across from you, you've got a bunch of words. And I think in the middle, one of the words that just struck me was purpose,
Yes.
And I'm like, wow, that one word as I was sitting down with those gentlemen was like, oh, wow, you can come here and you can find purpose, because, and another word you used in a post was like breaking down stereotypes. For me, like I didn't have purpose in my life until I was like maybe 46, 47 years old. I had a career, but no way was it my purpose, and I think that by breaking down stereotypes, by being able to be honest and vulnerable with one another, we create this trust where people can connect and build some self-worth.
Exactly.
And some self-esteem. And I love that that's what you guys are doing. And I could really feel it, that these gentlemen are actually starting to kind of like maybe walk a little bit more proud, and a little bit more kind of lighter on their feet where they're starting to find some purpose. So purpose.
Yeah, you're definitely right there, Nick. As I said, we spend a lot of the program is around reflection and looking into yourself and understanding yourself a little bit more. And I don't say yourself, I mean all of us, because there's no stopping to the learning and understanding. So the program is a lot about that. I think the paper you saw on the wall came from the workshop that I run, which is called Positive Thoughts. So at the end of the second week of the program, and as I said, the first 2 weeks there's no work experience; it's just training and talks and discussions. Okay. At the end of the first 2 weeks, I hold this workshop, and basically the workshop is there for people to understand how to say good things about themselves. Yeah, but I think in general, a lot of us find it easier to say negative things about ourselves, because that's the way things are set up. Yes, things are set up for us to be negative. Yeah. Okay. So I asked the group to randomly say positive things that they've learned or felt over the first 2 weeks of the program about other people in the room. Yeah, it might sound a bit hippie-ish, and it's definitely a little bit embarrassing to start off with. But yeah, it's not surprising how quickly people start to say, yeah, I want to say something about this person. I want to say something about that person.
Yeah.
And then, you know, it just, all the room starts talking about each other. Yeah. And what you saw on the wall was me taking the words that they said about each other. Okay. And then, you know, we then ask people to give one of the things that they've said about themselves. So we ask them to say 4 positive things about themselves. And it can be very difficult for people to do that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I know on this program, it took at least 10 minutes for someone to write 4 positive things about themselves. Yeah. So that's where we are. Yeah. So we asked to take one of their positive things and put it in front of someone else in the room who they feel has that same characteristic. Okay. All right. And then we asked them to take their 3 positive things, walk to the front of the group, and positively proclaim to the group those 3 things about themselves. Yeah. And the whole room does it. And the energy, you can feel the energy of the room pumping up. Yeah. And you know, the way we finish it is that, you know, you can use these words when you're writing your applications, when you're writing out your CV, you can use these words. Yeah. But also just remember that these words are, you know, these positive things are probably general to all of you in the room. And also just remember that this is a support network that you have around you now and hopefully going forward as well. Okay. So yeah, what we're looking to do is, as I said before, we're hoping to support people and ourselves to become more progressive in our thinking and more positive in our thinking, and be able to be more resilient with what's going on in the world right now. Okay, to keep your focus and also be able to create and take opportunities when they come.
Yeah. It's so amazing the way we can just beat ourselves up all the time and not only have the thinking thoughts, but also believing them to be true. Like, that's what I find so fascinating is like, yeah, sure. Okay. I'm, you know, dumb. And that could be a thought. But what I find so often is the tension is that the thought becomes a fact.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, why is that thought a fact? Not the thought that like, I am resilient because I showed up here today. And I like my childhood was hard and I survived it and I learned these skills of resilience, but we don't see ourselves as like resilient or strong. We see ourselves as like a product or not enough. And so it's so funny that the negative becomes a fact, where the positive becomes like so much shame and like resistance around saying, hey man, like maybe I make people laugh, right? Or maybe I can write a beautiful sentence that can inspire someone. It's like all these tensions that we hold as one being true and one being wrong. Like, so that leads me to my thought when you were speaking of like this idea of othering that the mainstream or like Western capitalized white body world has shown on us. It's like always as us versus them. Like the governments, I don't know what language you want to use, institutions need us to think we're separate from each other, but also from ourselves. So if we're separated, then we can be controlled more easily.
Yeah, totally, Melissa. Yeah, and you know, we have a lot of people who come to us and they've been isolated for quite a long time, and that could be for many reasons. Yeah, sometimes it's financially. You know, if you haven't got enough money, there's sometimes not a lot you can do in London, really. You know, especially if you don't live near a park or something, not a lot you can do. Sometimes it's emotional health, mental health. It could be many things. Yeah, but you know, what we see is that we have a lot of people that come to us isolated, and you know, at the start of the program they're very quiet. And as I said, throughout the program, we're always pushing public speaking. Yeah, speaking to the group, speaking to other people. Okay, and also we're also pushing understanding yourself and understanding other people. Yeah, and when you're understanding other people, you have to learn to listen. Yeah, and I think in society at the moment and for a long time, listening isn't a thing. Yeah, we just listen to reply. Yeah, we don't listen to listen. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so we have a policy of one voice during the program. So when one person's speaking, you listen. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And also, we have a policy of minimum phone use. Okay. So what we say from the start of the program, that we know that the phone is a useful tool, but the phone also brings anxiety. Okay. We're looking at using our space as a space that you can get away from, you could say, from the world, from the angry, horrible world outside. Okay. It's a chance, it's a safe space where we can all reflect and grow. Yeah. So yeah, I think I agree with you that society sometimes can be pressured to be fragmented. Yeah, I totally agree with that, and I think a lot of the you know, the social media, the internet, and things like that has definitely supported that. That people are quite happy to sit in front of their laptop and just virtually live their lives. Okay, and that's why I think for us, really, you know, the work that we've done around trying to put this program together during this period of time, you know, doing all the hard work around making it COVID safe, and making it continually COVID safe as we go on. All that work, yeah, it's been hard work, but it's paid off. It's paying off because people are coming out of their houses and coming to us every single day, and they're laughing and they're enjoying themselves and they're meeting different people and they're doing different things. They're doing things that they haven't done before. I can tell you, I was in the creative writing workshop last week, which is run by the fantastic John Smallshaw, who was on our first program, but also works with us and is a fantastic poet, amongst other things. Yeah, that some of the, not just some, all of the poetry and writing that came out of that workshop was incredible. Yeah, and we've had people that haven't written since they was in, I don't know, secondary school. Yeah, and you know, they're a bit shy to start off with, and they're like, no, I can't do it, I don't want to do it, no, I don't want to say it. And it's not just about writing it, it's about writing it and standing up and saying it. Yeah. We're not happy enough for you just write it and then put it in your pocket. It's no, it's write it and perform it. Yeah. Okay. And you know, we've seen over the years that even the most quietest person, the most sort of fragile person has grown and grown and grown through the program. That, you know, when they first came to the program, they was about 4'2". By the end of the program, they're about 7'8". Do you know what I'm saying? And they've done a, you know, at our graduation, which is quite well known now, we always have performances at our graduation, that this person that started with us as this very quiet, meek person who's grown through the program has brought the house down with a wonderful, unbelievable poem at graduation. Yeah, something that they would never have thought in their lives they would have done before. Yeah, speaking in front of around 100 people. So you know, for us, you know, it's obvious how people, human beings, can grow. Yeah, they need to be given space to grow. Yeah, and sometimes they need to take away some of the distractions.
It's so great too, like, and the power of being with. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry, my internet's so shit. I was just gonna say the power of being witnessed in safety rather than shame is such a game changer. And it's so beautiful that it's almost like these programs are just basically saying, we're gonna see you and we're gonna hold you and we're gonna love you. And there's gonna be none of maybe the patterns of the shame around or the fear around being seen. And it's such a beautiful healing place, is to be witnessed with so much support and team and you know, love. It's such a powerful way to become.
Yeah, that's right, Melissa. And you know, I should say that, you know, we run the program. This program is 6 weeks. It's usually 10 weeks or 11 weeks. But after the program, our fantastic progression team comes in, and then we support people. On this program, it's going to be for 6 months, but usually it's for a year. Yeah, minimum of a year. So we support people into employment. We help them to sustain their employment and also to get better work as well. So they have a progression worker, and they also have a mentor who they're linked with while they're on the program. And the mentors, some of them are our members, but a lot of them are people that have responded to our advertisements of coming and being trained by us. Yeah. So we're not just having a program and saying goodbye. You know,
Right.
we're having a program. We're having a beautiful day, graduation day, and then we're with you. You know what I mean? We're sticking with you. And we've had people from, I don't know, program number 1, number 2, who still come back to us to say hi, or sometimes need a little bit of support. And we're there for them. Yeah, it is a bit of an open door, to tell the truth. You know, the big black door there. It's a bit of an open door.
Yeah.
So you know, what you said before about community, you know, it's kind of like community, it's kind of like family as well, do you know? But I think ultimately it's just people who respect people, you know, and who try their best to look at the best side of that person. Yeah.
I think it's so much. I know it's called an employee academy, but it's just so much more. Like you say, and Melissa says, like this is about building community and connection and self-worth and purpose. And I want to know, like maybe kind of like where do you see it going? How it's evolved from the beginning to now with COVID, and then you know, kind of where can you see it evolving to with the necessity that you maybe have seen with people's need to actually have human connection. So like we know, like we're probably gonna, you know, it'll never go back to things the way they are. We're always gonna have to kind of adapt with some kind of virus or something in the future. This is just a kind of a new way. How do you see your academy kind of evolving and, you know, with the necessity for people to actually have human contact?
Yeah, we would hope that we, at some point, we'll be able to open another house somewhere. England, yeah, or London. That would be fantastic if we can do that. You know, we're already working in some ways virtually on this program, and you know, depending how things go, we're looking to possibly do more of that. We would, you know, we would love to keep on doing programs in the house because, as we said before, the house has a certain energy. Yeah. And it's a beautiful space. It's an inspirational space. As you know, the house is also a gallery. The whole house is a gallery. Yeah. So there's beauty, there's art all around you, there's color, there's beautiful inspiration. Yeah. And not everyone lives in a beautiful space. Yeah. So if you are running a virtual support, then you know people are still in their non-beautiful space. Do you know what I mean? And they're still not, and they're still sitting down in the same place. They haven't got up, they haven't walked anywhere. Yeah. So you know, health-wise, it's not the best. Yeah. But you know, we have to be flexible with what's going on at the moment. As I said, you know, we put a lot of work in to get this program done. Yeah. To get it done safe. Yeah. We put a lot of work because we felt that we could do it, and we felt it would be the best thing to do. But also because a lot of people that have come to us in recruitment didn't have the appropriate, you know, laptops at home, computers. So we couldn't have done it anyway. You know, so yeah, you know, as I said at the start, you know, firstly we put the health of everyone. That was the first thing we looked at. Yeah, and then secondly, it was regarding making sure that we were looking to get the outcomes that we've always got. Yeah, or even better, to tell the truth. So going forward, Nick, I think you know, we've shown that you can run a program during this. I mean, we're not finished yet. I'm not counting my chickens just yet. Okay, we're not finished yet, but we're doing well. Okay, and even if we stop tomorrow, yeah, that the work that we've done already has been beneficial to our participants and to us as staff as well. It has been really beneficial. Okay. Some of the best parts of my year so far has been since I've been on the program. Okay, yeah. So hopefully we'll see how next year goes, plays out. But hopefully we'll be able to run a program like this in possibly late February. Okay, so please look out on our website to see when we're going to start recruiting again, which could be quite soon. Okay, and you know, if need be, well, then we will do it virtually. Okay, but to answer your question, Nick, we would like to open more House of St. Barnabas's. Yeah, maybe one in Manchester, one in Liverpool, one in Brazil, which I will run.
Of course.
Obviously.
Mel, do you have another question at all before we kind of start wrapping up?
No, I know you have a last question, so go for it.
I was just going to ask Brian, kind of anything that pops to your mind over the since you've been doing this. Like, I know everybody who's gone through it is a success story, but is there anything that would be kind of like a headline grabbing moment that's happened for you while you've been doing the Employee Academy, maybe with some of the people who've taken part in it?
Oh, there's so many, Nick. And I tell the truth, I wouldn't like to pick any of them out, to tell the truth. No, seriously, there are so many, especially when I sit down and reflect on all the programs, because I think this is my 14th program that I've been involved in. And when we sit down, some of us, and think back, there's been some unbelievable highlights. Not everyone is totally successful. We're not trying to paint some sort of fantasy thing here, but as we said, we're always there to support people. Yeah. I would say that I think it's just the laughter, the fun, the jokes. As I said, the seeing people who come in and they're obviously been they've obviously gone through a hard time and they've been isolated, and they've had enough courage to come to our recruitment day and join the program, and they're just seeing them grow. Everyone knows that I'm a big geezer, okay, right, but I always have a cry at graduation. I can't stop myself. Do you know what I mean? I've tried everything, but I always have a little tear at graduation because it is very emotional. Everyone's, we spend quite a lot of time together, and there's a lot of change for all of us during the program. So for me, I suppose it's graduation. It's just seeing people be proud of themselves and just getting to the other end, and having a great time.
I think it's beautiful. You've been an amazing guest for us, and I hope that we can do this again. Maybe in February when there's another one starting, and you can kind of give us an update. But I know you can't get rid of me and Mel now because we're members. So
yeah. One thing I haven't talked about is if you want to become a member, check out our website. Check us out on Facebook, Instagram. Yeah, we're open. We're definitely open to more members.
Oh, and you know what? I'm raving about it because it is my community. I know that knowing that you guys are just around the corner from me, and I can go there with my laptop and have a coffee and talk to Jackie and talk to you and Victor and Candice. Like everyone's just, and Sam. Like everyone's just so beautiful there, and I feel a part of it. And I couldn't stress enough to people to look you guys up, and just check it out. Check out the House of St. Barnabas. It's a beautiful place. And I hope that there are more of you guys opening up around the world, because the world needs community, and you guys are really good at building community. The whole idea of a tear in your eye, like I'm an advocate that we're all designed to cry. So it's a beautiful thing to be able to shed a tear for things. And I think that's a wonderful highlight for you to mention. And with that, we can kind of wrap things up. So Brian, also, if you email me all the links, and then I will put them all in this feed at the What's On at Elephant Castle Facebook page. So thank you so much for joining us, dude. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nick. Thank you, Melissa.
Sorry, my internet is crap.
That's all right. You look like you're turning into a dog.
Yeah, it's my superpower.
Yeah. That's a good one.
Thanks, Brian. Thanks, Melissa. And thanks to everyone at the What's On at Elephant and Castle Facebook page. Don't forget to join us on Thursday at 11 a.m. for another workshop, widening our circle. It's the end of the month, so we're going to kind of be setting intentions for the months to come. So thanks, everybody, and we'll see you soon.